Perfect streaming.
Perfect.
Perfect. Hi everyone, welcome to Chill 15. This is our new sequence tonight, our latest round of Chill. This is the first run through, so we'll see how we go. I might have a bit too much material. We'll see how it goes.
I'm going to start a watch party.
Okay.
Everyone else can start a watch party.
You can watch me. You can watch me do this outside while you're tending to the fish.
Oh, there she is.
So if you've not done Chill before, it's a really nice, slow flowing class, giving you lots of time for just feeling your way into the poses a bit more than you would perhaps do in one of our Power or Flex classes. Just gives you opportunity to reflect on the body, how it's feeling, and just spend a bit more time working into the positions, finding that perfect variation of the pose for you. So yeah, lots of nice dreamy folds. Lots of nice opening as well in this one as well. Some twists. Lots of hip stuff, which is my nemesis, but it's got to be in there.
How did you join? You said that was a bit achy.
No, it's fine when I'm doing yoga. It's after.
Keep on doing yoga.
Yeah, that's the key.
Just carry on.
Are you admitting?
Lunging around.
I've got it. Hang on. There we go. There we go. Hi Rob. Hi Bob.
Rob's trying to get in an hour and a quarter ago.
Hey!
It's the right time now, Rob.
He was just testing his connection. Testing the kit. Just saying hi to some of the Zoomers. Oh no, we're alright. I thought I was going to have to rush off then, but we're not. Just saying, so new round of Chill. What else have we been doing? Just been doing a nice flex as well. We're going to start doing some outdoor yoga. We're going to start doing some 10-minute little flows that you might want to do for a particular reason. If you can see Chris, it looks like he's just splattered against the door. He can clean the glass. So yeah, you might have a 10-minute flow on, I don't know.
We're letting the volume, Rob, we're letting the volume.
Something to do with digestion, if you suffer from IBS and digestive issues, things like that. It might be a little 10-minute flow on just working into those releases there, becoming more comfortable. Back, neck and shoulders, maybe a 10-minute morning flow, an evening flow, prepping you for bed. So loads of little 10-minute hacks which you can learn. Doesn't take long to repeat them and learn those. And then you can maybe even jigsaw them together. And make your own little flow. So yeah, we're working on some of those. They'll be coming to you soon. When we're allowed to, we're going to do some outdoor yoga. So get people socially distanced, but in an outdoor space, so we can actually get some proper classes. Or you can join us live, whatever suits you. So yeah, we've got lots of things in the pipeline. Chris has got his head in computer land at the moment. He's doing a lot of work on creating these online products, so lots of exciting stuff there as well. He's working with a company in America on that, so lots coming your way, folks. So yeah, right, we've got about a minute to go. For those of you that are with us already, if you want to get yourselves onto your backs, you might decide that you need a strap for some of these poses. We'll be taking some binds, so if you've not got a strap, a tea towel is just as good, or a belt or a tie of some description. Anything which is going to give you longer arms. So you can get yourself on a rack, maybe? I don't know. So finding something strap-like will be of use to you today. You might want a brick as well, but I think you'll be all right. You might want it. If you've got one, have it there anyway. All right, so starting off on our backs this evening. Chrissy, are you there? Yep, you done it? Oh, are you? Nice. We love our fishy friends. All right, 5 seconds to go. Hi guys, well, welcome to Chill 15, our latest round of Chill. Welcome. I'm Jen, if you've not met me before. We're going to start today on our backs. So if you want to roll down onto your back, we're going to start off in recline butterfly. So releasing the spine down onto the ground, bringing the soles of the feet together and letting gravity take care of the legs Gently opening up into the hips and the groin, knees coming down towards the ground. So you might want to take one hand onto your heart, one hand onto your belly. You might prefer to take the arms up above the head. Just finding your way into a variation of this pose which feels comfortable, which feels nice. So if your hips are pretty tight, your knees might be quite high like mine. If you're quite open, your knees might come down to the ground. There's no prizes. These chill classes are all designed to give us a bit more chance to spend some time in the poses, working into that developmental flexibility, working with the breath particularly, and allowing ourselves to find space. Just giving ourselves a chance to work the body but at a much slower pace. So starting to focus on the breath here in our reclined butterfly, or reclined bound angle as it's sometimes known. You'll notice that there's a gap between your lower back. That's perfect. You don't want to start pressing the lower back into the floor here. That gives you that nice stretch and openness across the front of the hips and the belly, which is what we're after. So it's a really lovely, gentle opening pose for the front body. You've got that opening across the shoulders if the arms are up and above the head, across the hips, across the tongue, through the groin. So I want you to breathe into the belly here, taking a nice swell of the belly. See if you can lift it up, make yourself look as fat as you can, like you've eaten a massive Christmas dinner, and then release out. And then we're going to do that another 2 times. Fill up, deep, big belly breath, and then release. And again. Fill it up. Oh, stretch out those abs. And then release. Really nice, well done. Releasing the arms down by the side now. We're going to draw the knees in together. Taking the heels next to the bottom. You should be able to tickle the heels with the fingertips. This time I do want your lower back to plant into the ground. So engage your tummy muscles. Draw your navel, your tummy button, in towards your lower back as you press the lower back into the floor. Now with this one you can keep the arms down by the side body, or you can let them flow up and overhead. So we're taking a dynamic bridge. It's a nice gentle flow, but serves as well a bit like cat-cow in the rippling and rolling through the spine. So try and keep the knees up above the hips and nice and stable so your knees aren't knocking around too much. So as you breathe in, start to squeeze into the back body, particularly the glutes and the lower back, as you gently move up, 1 vertebra at a time if you can. Now, it is the beginning of class, so you don't necessarily need to come up too high. Just feel that engagement through the back body and then start to lower down. So it's just as important to lower down with control as it is to lift with control. So 1 vertebra at a time on the way up, and the same on the way down. You know, if you want to get those arms involved, you can. It might make you a little bit more wobbly, but working into this lift and lower, really great for functional strength, making sure the glutes are switched on, allowing us to control our bodies with a bit more ease. Okay, give us one more little flow here, nice and slow. Maybe you want to try coming up a little bit higher on this one. Let the chest float up to meet the chin, squeeze that back body a little bit higher, maybe push up onto the toes, onto the balls of the feet, a little bit higher still. And then starting to release down, bringing the heels back down, floating down 1 vertebra at a time. Nice work, everyone. Okay, extend your legs out for me. We're going to take a banana-shaped pose, Banasana. So bring your left hip right over to the left-hand side of your mat. Now, bring your right heel to that top right-hand corner of your mat. And if it feels okay, I want you to take your left leg and cross it over that right ankle. With your right hand, reach up overhead to the top right-hand corner of your mat. And then bring the left arm around above the head and see if you can take hold of your right wrist. So as we are in this lateral bend, have a think about pressing your left hip down towards the ground. So both hips want to be in contact with the floor, as do the shoulders, so we're not rolling onto our right hand side. So taking that squeeze up and over, really opening into the left hand side of the body here. Gentle opening just to start off with. You can let the gaze look up to the ceiling, maybe close the eyes. Just enjoying those heavy sensations through the hips and shoulders. Just noticing how your body's feeling in these, how it's feeling in this pose, as with all the other poses that we're taking. And just allowing yourself to be okay with where you get to. You don't have to push too far. Just honour your body is a term that's bandied around in yoga quite a lot. It just means be respectful to how you're feeling and what the pose feels like on a day-to-day basis. All right, well done. Take the release at the ankle and at the wrist, and then shuffle your right hip to the right hand side. So we're going to take the other side now. So left heel comes to the top left corner, taking the right foot and crossing it over the left ankle. If that doesn't feel okay, just put them next to each other. You don't have to take that wrap. Left arm up to the top left corner, taking hold of the left wrist with your right hand if you can, and then just adjusting the hips and shoulders if you need to. Feeling that lovely deep stretch into the right side of the body this time. So still breathing that nice big deep belly breath. Closing the eyes for another 3. Great for stretching out the abdominals here as well as the side body. 2. And release there, well done. Release the arms down by the side, release the bind at the ankles, shuffle your way back to the centre of your mat, and let's take a nice long leg on that left side. Draw the right knee into the chest. Again, press the lower back into the floor here, and really squeeze your right knee into your chest. So this is wind relieving pose, but it's a nice prep for our spinal twist. So you might be able to feel your right hip flexor protesting a little bit. I know mine is. And then when you feel ready to take that twist, left hand comes onto the right knee. Take the right arm out to the side if you've got the room. If you haven't got the room, maybe cactus the arms. Take that 90-degree knee bend, elbow bend, sorry. And then start to rotate onto your left side. So keeping the right shoulder nice and heavy. And it might be you don't come across particularly far. That's fine. If you've got a cushion and you're sort of nearby the floor, you could always use a brick or a cushion. Just see how your lower back and hips are feeling today. So it is only the beginning of session. You're going to loosen up a little bit more. So maybe if we take this same pose at the end, you might feel that you've released a little bit. You can, if you want, take the gaze over towards the right. And you start to feel this on the outside edge of your right thigh down, what we call our IT band. And even now, my leg was above and not touching the floor. As I've taken those few breaths, I've opened up enough to touch down with my right foot. And you might be finding the same. So I'm just going to take a couple more breaths here and then float on to our other side. I always like to take a slightly deeper inhale here and then a longer exhale. I just find it gives my lower back a bit more space. So squeezing into the tummy a little bit. I want you to start rolling back through centre. And let's go on the other side. So extend your right leg long, and you might notice already a difference between the sides. Hopefully you do. Draw in with the left knee, extend away. And I forgot to say on the other side, if you flex your right foot, you're really activating this right leg, and that's good for toning the muscles there as well. So draw in the left knee, maybe bringing the knee right up into the chest, see how it feels. Right hand onto the left knee, extend away with the left arm, take a breath. Make sure we've got a little squeeze of the abdominals just to control that roll over onto the right hip. Shoulders are heavy, particularly the left shoulder. Maybe turn the gaze over towards the left hand side if you can. Remember, you can pop a brick underneath your left knee. Just by having your right hand resting on that top leg, it just gives you a little bit more leeway, a little bit more added extra weight in order to draw the knee down. So again, if you want to take a slightly bigger breath in and a slightly longer breath out, so maybe adding a little bit of pressure on that exhale. So really working into the glutes, into the outside of the thigh, as well as the lower back and the hips. Really lovely stretch this one. Taking another 3 breaths. Nice. So in this sequence we've got a few of our favourites. I've tried to add in a few different variations of things, just to keep it interesting. So as you move back to centre, squeezing through the abs, roll your way back, and then just take a hug in with both knees, rocking and rolling from one side to the other. And then rolling onto one side. Let's take it easy. Pressing the right hand down, or the left hand, whichever your top arm is, into the floor. Press your way up and make your way into a seated position. From there, we're just going to cross the legs and roll the weight forward. So we're going to take a cat-cow to start off. So drawing the hands underneath the shoulders, taking the knees underneath the hips. We're not going to stay here for too long, just to finish off warming up through the spine. So squeezing in the navel towards the lower back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. With your own breath, folks, not mine. Rolling through the spine, tucking the pelvis right under, spreading out the shoulders, squeezing into the navel. Keep that flow going. For another 5, 4, 3. Keep pressing really hard through the fingertips. 2. And 1. Back to tabletop. Let's tuck the toes and find a down dog. Inhale, scoop the sit bones high. You can keep lots of knee bend on this one if you like, stretching out through the upper body first of all, and then maybe working to the lower body as you press one heel, then the other down towards the ground. So squeezing the upper arms together, sliding the shoulder blades away down the back up towards that sit bones, up towards the apex of your upside down triangle there. Lifting tall, maybe swaying around through the hips a bit more if you're still feeling like your hips need a bit more of an opener. We're going to take a 3-legged dog and a lizard flow here. So taking an inhale of the right leg, we're then going to exhale and just bring the right foot outside of the right hand. If you're not feeling that from down dog, you can always take a table, extend the right leg, and then bring the right foot outside the right hand. So you've got a couple of options there, okay? So down dog or table with this one. So taking that lift and then that flow forwards. Right hand outside of the, right foot outside the right hand. Inhale to lift, stretch out, keep the hips square to the floor if you can, shoulders strong, and float forwards. Well done. Inhale and lift up. Final time. Bring in the right foot outside of the right hand. This time we're going to drop the back knee down and take a little twist. So rising up with the right fingertips. Now you'll notice I untucked my back foot. You don't have to, but you can choose to bring the top of the foot down. So allow your hips to melt down. If you feel like you're in more of a kneeling table position, let the hips melt forwards and maybe slide that left knee back a little bit. So really lifting up, maybe taking the gaze to that top hand. Breathing into that rotation if you can. Think about lifting up the belly button towards the sky for 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Taking the right hand down. We're just going to have a little rock back into a half split. Nothing too strenuous. So inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, take the sit bones back and stretch out through this right hamstring. So we're not going to stay, we're going to flow. That's slightly easier. Okay, so inhale, lift up. Drop the hips, chest is lifted. Exhale, release back into that half splits. And again, so you can have a big deep knee bend in your half splits. If that's where you're at, that's fine. Inhale, lift the chest, final flow. Exhale, release. Nice work, well done. Take the weight forward slightly and then release the right leg back. Find your way back to your table, maybe even stretching it out to down dog. We're going to come into that lizard flow on the left hand side. So either left leg behind from table, bringing the left foot outside the left hand, or join me with the down dog variation. I'm going to take 3 on this left side. Inhale, left foot high, press down with the right heel. Exhale, transfer the weight forwards, dropping the hips down nice and low. And again, inhale to lift. Try and release and relax the shoulders. Exhale, come forwards, travelling the weight over the wrists. And again, lift, extend, and pop that left foot down. Let's drop the back knee down. Let's take that twist. Right hand remains on the floor this time. Toes can untuck if you wish, opening up through the chest, lifting up through the torso, finding that full expanse through the torso. For 3, dropping those hips down a bit more. Nice work. 2, and 1. Taking the gaze back through center, and from there working into that downward facing dog once more. Stretch out, wiggle out, head heavy for 3, 2, and 1. Dropping down onto the knees. So from here we're going to take a kneeling lunge, so taking the right leg out behind and then floating your right foot between the hands. You might need to walk it forwards a little bit, maybe sliding that left knee away as we take our kneeling lunge. We're going to inhale, arms high. We're going to take a lateral bend over towards the front right knee. So it's the left arm that reaches up and over as the right hand comes down towards the ground. So really, again, stretching through the side body. Try not to let the arm come right up next to the ear. See if you can find some length down the left-hand side of the neck here. Making sure that, that right knee is in line with the hip. Can we come down a bit deeper? Full breath in. Well done. For 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Releasing back through center. So taking the hands down once more, we're going to take a little tuck of the back toes and stretch up so that both legs are straight. Now I want you to walk that left foot forwards a little bit. So this is pyramid pose, okay? Both legs are straight, both sets of toes are facing forwards. Again, it's another workout into the hamstrings. So if you've got a block and you feel like you need to come up a little bit higher, that's fine. You can always take the hands to the hips. It's going to make it more challenging on the balance, but less challenging through the back to the leg. So see what works for you. You can use the block here. You can find that lovely long spine, pressing down equally through both feet. And because the feet are quite close to that centre line of the mat, that's why it's a challenge for the balance. So any variation that you find comfortable for you. Breathing long breaths up and down the spine and into the back of the legs. If you find that you've got tight hamstrings, this can be quite a challenge, this pose. You might want to start lowering down, maybe floating, if you're quite open, floating the knee down, the nose down towards the knee. Again, that's going to take it into quite a strong variation of this pose. So just do what feels natural for you. See where your body takes you this evening. Okay, now we're going to work into a warrior 3, but don't worry, it's not flex. We're going to have our hands down, all right? So think about softening this front knee and taking the hands forward. Now, if you've got your block and you want to use your block underneath the hands instead, that's fine. Now, I want you to keep this knee as bent as you need to in order to lift up with that back leg. So we're trying to engage the glute and the lower back, but we're trying to keep the hips square to the floor. So don't want you to open out too much. All right, so keeping the gaze down. We don't want the chest to come down towards the floor. We want to keep the back nice and long. So as I said, if you've got your block or a book of some description, and lengthening out there. So working into a bit of standing strength, but we're not going to stay here too long. For 3, 2, feel those glutes firing up. And release from there. Well done. Take the left foot to the back of the mat and step back into your down dog, or maybe come down into your table. So again, we're going to work into that kneeling lunge. So you can come from table or dog. Left foot lifts. Inhale, sweep high. And then floating the left foot between the hands this time. Dropping down onto that back knee. And we're going to find that lateral bend the other way. So inhale, sweep up the arms. Exhale, left hand comes down and right arm reaches. Now, I feel totally unbalanced on this one. I much prefer going the other way. I'm much more open. I think it's years of playing hockey, but you might decide that this side feels more open for you. Okay, trying to balance out the sides is what we're aiming for though. You might even want to take a gaze up underneath that right arm if you're feeling particularly steady. Just allowing that left arm to feel really heavy, drawing you down, feeling that lovely pull all along the right-hand side of the body. Give yourself another breath. Keep the hips moving down towards the earth. And one more, just for fun. Inhale. Nice work at home, well done. Inhale, reach up, back through center. Lovely job. All right, so from here we're taking our pyramid pose, tuck the back toes, and just start to bring that right foot a little bit further forward. So grab your brick again if you need it. Taking the hands onto the brick. 2 straight legs, both sets of toes facing forwards. Remember, if your hands will come down to the floor, that's fine. You can take hands to hips. So strong back here. So really working into building strength in the lower back, in that lumbar region. Super important when you move around on a day-to-day basis that you have that strong core to support you through your everyday movements. So as before, if you wanted to take it a little bit deeper, you could start to fold the body down towards that left knee. But absolutely no pressure to do so. Staying up here is equally as good if that's where your hamstrings are telling you to stay. Breathing here for 3, well done. 2, we've got a warrior 3 next. And then we're going to take some nice forward folds. And 1, pop the brick just in front of you. You might want to use it and think about really bending into that left knee. Take the hands to the floor if you can and start to squeeze and lift with that right leg. So focus on length to the back body. Again, maybe taking, if you feel like that arm extension, putting something underneath the hands, keeping the chest and the hips square to the floor. So lots of work into the hamstrings in this first section of class. Going to continue with that on our forward folds next. Then we're going to working into the hips a little bit. All right, give me another breath here. Inhale, it's getting challenging. And exhale, well done. Floating that right foot next to the left. Pop your brick to one side. Give your legs a little bit of a shake out. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands down to the heart center. I feel like I'm moving off the end of my mat here. So a forward fold is where we're going next, a standing forward fold. Okay, so we're going to have a little release through the back of the neck on this one as well. Bend the knees, inhale, sweep up tall. Exhale, release the hands all the way down. Loads of bend in the knees as we fold all the way into our nice, juicy, relaxing forward fold. Great for decompressing the spine, finding space between the vertebrae here. Now the option here in your forward fold is we don't want to try and pull our own heads off, but what you can do is interlock the hands behind the back of the neck and just let the elbows drop out wide. So as you're taking your fold, you get that extra bonus of that lovely stretch through the back of the head and the neck. Now if it feels uncomfortable, you might be pushing on it too much. You're just hanging the hands in that bind at the back of the neck. You might want to close your eyes. Again, if you want to keep the knees really bent on this fold, that's lovely. So taking the weight forwards into the balls of the feet a little bit. It might feel nice as well if you want to just move around, taking a gentle sway one way, then the other. Just enjoying tucking that chin to chest. For another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing the hands. Now we're going to stay down here for a little bit longer. We're going to take an interlock of the hands behind the back. You might need your strap here if you're not able to bind the hands together. You might want to hold on to a strap, in which case it'd look something like this. If you can take that bind, we're going to take the hands to touch and just let the arms tumble out over the head. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bend the left knee, so lifting the heel off that left leg, and we're just going to take a turn of the gaze towards the right, so the extended leg side. So just, you'll feel that real difference into the back of your right leg as you do this. So keep letting the arms tumble over towards the floor, lifting the left heel, taking a twist towards the right. So you're still getting all of those lovely benefits that you get with a forward fold, soothing for the nervous system, great for battling fatigue, but also finding a bit of a twist, great for the digestive system. Okay, well done. Release the gaze back first of all. You might want to release the hands and give them a bit of a shake. And then moving into the other side. If you find that bind around the back's too much, just take the the elbows into the hands instead. So this time we're going to take a lift of the right heel and slowly start to look over towards the left. So you might feel a bit wobbly to start off with. Find a focal point and see if you can hold it there. 4 breaths in. Well done, doing really nice. For 3. I'm looking out the window thinking how beautiful and green everything is at the moment. 2. And 1. Awesome. Taking the gaze back to center, releasing the right heel down, releasing your hands, softening the knees, and then taking a lovely slow little roll up all the way up 2, full height, stretching out there, releasing the arms tall. You might want to shake out the legs. We are coming down to seated next. So when you're ready, bringing the hands together, releasing all the way down onto your mat and coming into an easy seat for me. So popping the sit bones down, doesn't matter which way round you go with the legs. Okay, so squeezing in through the abs here, just taking the hands onto the knees or onto the floor. We're going to start drawing some circles with the upper body. So it's going to just work into the abs and lower back a little bit. So we're going to take 5 circles one way, keeping the spine tall. If you find that you want to sit on a block to help elongate the spine here, that's fine. So you're just rolling around on the sit bones, nice little massage for the bum. And then start to move in the opposite direction when you're ready. So rolling around, so really having to focus on that contraction through the core in order to stop us overbalancing and going too far one way than the other. Perfect. Roll your way back to centre, little Weeble exercise for you, and extend out with the left leg. Again, working into another lateral bend here, taking the right foot into the, so you've got that tree leg extension, taking the left fingertips towards the left heel. We're going to reach up and over with that right arm, lifting tall and stretching your way over towards those left toes. So try not to close the chest off and bring it towards the floor. See if you can think about opening the chest upwards instead. Just giving yourself a full expansive breath here, enjoying how the right rib cage lifts and opens up a bit more. Maybe you're feeling that into the outside of your right hip. Making sure that you're not lifting the sit bones off the floor if you can. For another 3, 2, and 1. Good. Inhale, come centre. Just crossing your left leg in. We're going to plant down with the right hand and just take the left arm over the head. So you're taking a grip around the left hand, right hand side of the head, but we're not yanking the head down. We're going to take the left ear towards the left shoulder. So take a breath, inhale. Exhale, gently let the ear float down to the left shoulder. The weight of the hand is just like in that spinal twist. It just adds a little bit more weight into the pose. Maybe just gently closing the eyes for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to release. Let's extend the right leg out. So you want it at about 45 degrees. Left foot tucks in. Right fingertips towards the right ankle. Inhale, lift. And exhale, extend out. Again, think about opening the chest upwards like we would in our extended side angle pose. Stretching and reaching here for 5. Sometimes when the side body is compressed like this, it's a bit more difficult to breathe, but see if you can keep that evenness to the breath here. 2. And final 1. Good stuff. Inhale to rise up. Cross the right leg, or whichever leg is the opposite way round, back in front, and let's go. Right arm lifts. Taking the grip on the left side of the head, planting the left hand down. Inhale, exhale, let the neck do the work. So in order to come down, bring the ear towards the shoulder. I don't need to hold on at all. It's just having that hand there as that extra bit of weight. So if you press down through the hand a little bit more, if your hand doesn't want to come down, you can always press it onto a book or a block. If you press down through the heel of the hand a bit more, then start to stretch over a bit with the right ear to the right shoulder, you really feel that nice, lovely lengthening to the side of the neck. Just give me another breath here. Inhale. And exhale, release from there. Okay, grab your strap if you know you need it for cow face arms. So cow face, I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see. You're taking the right arm up and the left arm up the lower back like you've been arrested, and just see if you can bring the fingertips to meet. If you can't, that's fine. Grab an arm lengthener, a tea towel maybe, taking it into the right hand, reaching up behind you with the left hand, and then using the strap. So you want to think about the length down the right tricep here. That's what we're aiming for. So the arm bit in itself might feel like a challenge. Just keep that easy cross-legged position. Just remember which leg's out in front. So you're taking your binds, using the strap, or just using your Using your fingers if that's possible, sitting tall through the spine, making sure you feel even through the sit bones, you don't feel like you're moving one side to the other. If you're okay with this, you might start to think about folding forwards from the hips, just a little bit. So working easy. See, if sitting down on your bottom like this doesn't work, you can always do this from a kneeling pose instead. So lengthening out, lifting that right elbow nice and high, taking that little fold forwards. Well done. Perfect. For 3. Use that exhale to find a deeper area of the pose. 2. And 1. Good. Inhale, squeeze to lift, and just swap your legs over. So take the opposite leg in front and swap over with the strap. If you're using one into the left hand, taking the right arm up the back, taking a hold of the strap, or bringing the fingertips to touch, whatever works for your body tonight. Take that breath in. Sitting up tall, maybe closing the eyes, and this is where you might want to stay. If you do want to start folding, think about not rounding through the spine, but think about moving from the hips here. It's like you haven't got any mobility through the spine almost. It's like a rod, and you want to fold forwards, letting the heart melt down towards the floor initially. So maybe focusing on lengthening that left elbow high, exhaling, lengthening forwards here. Just seeing where the pose takes you. You should find a nice release into the hips and also into the shoulders and the arms and upper back. So again, a good one if you've been sat on your computer for a while. For another 3, 2, and 1. Good. Inhale, rise up. Right, those of you on Zoom, it's time for that weird piriformis stretch which I was showing you earlier. So we're going to roll onto our left side. What we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand onto our left foot. Now you can extend your right leg out long if you want to. We're going to roll down onto our left elbow, so we're in this sort of reclined position. And what we're going to do here is have a little roll around on our piriformis and on our derrieres as such. So I want you to really press down with the left hip into the floor. Have yourself a little roll. You've got that supportive elbow down as well. Little squeeze in through the abs. So just pressing in. Can you imagine, if you imagine a tennis ball that you're rolling around on the tennis ball here, which is an exercise which you can do. If you are quite tight in the glute area, this is really juicy. I can feel this already. So just moving around. You might want to have a little extension through the left leg as well, working in some hamstring flexibility. So just a bit of free movement really in this pose. And then when you're ready, we're going to swap over. So releasing the foot, pressing your way up, and taking the left hand onto the right foot, extending the left leg, drop down onto the right forearm again, and again, just moving into this side, having a little roll rounds, just releasing into that right glute. You can bring the knee back a little bit more for more work into the groin, and having that elbow down really helps stops you moving too far back. So still squeeze into the abs a little bit. Again, you might want to lengthen out that right leg a little bit. So it's a bit of an unorthodox stretch, this one, but it is a really juicy one. Okay, another 3. And 2, well done. And 1. Use that supportive elbow as you press your way back up. All right, let's throw those legs out wide leg forward fold. So shoot both heels out. You don't need to go too deep in this one. I mean, if you want to walk the feet out a little bit, I'm going to keep mine quite close together for today. So lift up maybe, and then find your sit bones. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your left hand towards your right foot as we reach out behind you with the right arm. So it's like a twisted forward fold. It's actually a Pilates exercise called saw. So reaching, taking a hold of your right foot, or maybe just onto the the shin, or the thigh, whichever, and taking your right arm out behind you. So looking either towards that backhand or forwards, and then swapping over. Taking the right hand to the left foot, extending away with the left arm. And swap it over. Right hand behind, left arm forward. So you can use this bind of the foot to find a bit more of a stretch into the lower back. One more each side. Perfect. Little back bend coming up next after this one. Nice work, well done. So from here, come back into an easy seat. We're going to cross those legs, which feels quite nice after having those extended stretches. I'm going to work into arching the spine, so pressing the hands down onto the floor. Now your variation of this arch might be just to lift up through the chest and open out through the front of the shoulders. It might be that you can start to float the sit bones off the floor. As you lift up the front body, you expand through the hips and you work the back body. It's a little bit like camel. So breathing in here into this lovely arch and opener to the front body. For 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Coming all the way back down onto the bottom, and then from there we are going to take a seated wide leg forward fold. So shoot the legs back out again. This time we're going to take a hinge at the hips and a length of the spine as we move forwards. So really start to lift up the sit bones at the back a little bit. Flex the toes on both feet. Inhale. And exhale, start to walk the hands forward. So if this is your wide leg forward fold and that is working for you, that's wonderful. Okay, maybe close the eyes. Just go a bit introspective, see what is happening in the body. Press down through both heels. That's going to activate the back of your legs even more. Take that breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Coming forwards. Perfect. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rise up. Let's take a little twist. Left hand to right knee, sweeping the right hand around. Inhale, take that twist and open. Exhale, release back to center. Swap it over. Right hands onto the left knee or somewhere on that leg. Left hand plants. Inhale. And exhale, releasing again. Taking a nice juicy twist. Great for our digestion. And then we're coming back through center from there. What are we doing next? We are going into a bound angle. Now you might want something to put your feet on here. So we're going to take the soles of the feet together. We all know and love bound angle. You can take a basket of the hands around the toes, letting the knees drop to the side, keeping the spine nice and tall to start off with. You might want to play around with, though, grabbing something like a book and see if you can bring your feet a little bit higher up. Okay, so you've got options here. If you have got a yoga block at home, obviously you can turn it on different heights depending on how that feels on the hips. Okay, so if you obviously need to play around with how far away the feet are from the rest of the body as well. So as you move the feet a little bit closer to the rest of the body, it will feel more intense. So sitting up tall through the spine just adds a little bit of variation to our bound angle. So you're probably going to feel this into the lower back a little bit more. Try and relax the shoulders away down the back. Let gravity take care of the knees once more if you can. Working into a normal bound angle if this doesn't work for you. Just throwing in another variety there. Well done. Deep breath in. And out. And again, deep breath in. And out. Feel those knees getting heavier. Feeling those legs drawing towards the earth. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Nice work, nice work. Taking the legs off your brick. And then from there, crossing the legs. I'm going to roll forwards. Taking a kneeling position. We're going to work into the tops of the shoulders and thread the needle. So pop everything you've got out of the way. Finding that kneeling position. Inhale, open up with the left hand. Gaze the fingertips if you can, and then allow the left hand to float underneath the body behind the right wrist, bringing the left ear down onto the ground. Now you can extend away with your right hand if that feels quite nice. You can release the right hand around the lower back. If you want to intensify this stretch across the shoulders, what you could do is turn the gaze forwards with the chin to the floor. So either having the left ear down or chin on the ground looking forwards, whichever variation is good for you tonight, that's the one that we want to stick with. So keeping the hips square above the knees, enjoying the weight travelling down through that left shoulder, using the body weight here to stretch out those shoulder muscles. You can make this right arm a bit more active. You want to press into the fingertips and draw the right shoulder away from the ear. For 3, 2, 1. Slide the right hand back underneath the right shoulder. Inhale back through centre. And let's go on the other side. Take that sweep up with the right arm as you breathe in. As you release the breath, take the right hand behind the left wrist this time, coming down onto your right shoulder. Maybe extending that left hand away, maybe pressing into the fingertips, or maybe taking that sweep up and over with the left hand. Full breaths into the body. Bring in a bit of what you need on that inhale. And release and settle on the exhale. For another 3, 2, and 1. Release the left hand underneath the left shoulder, pressing back through tabletop, and then just taking a twisted table. So we're going to release the right hand into the air in front of us, so like a 3-legged table, and then we're going to take an open twist over behind us and see if we can stretch out there. So we're lifting up through the torso, and option here is to take the left ear down towards the left shoulder a little bit. So keep pointing away with the right hand. If you prefer to take the arm up in the air and drop the left ear down from there, that's cool. So that's another variation. So arm into the air or arm out behind you. And if you prefer just to let the head rest in its normal position, that's okay. It just feels quite nice if you drop that ear down towards the shoulder. Breathing in and out here for another 3. Well done, everyone. Coming to the end of our class now. 2. And 1. Release. Well done. Taking the same on the other side. So taking the left arm out in front. Inhale. Maybe exhaling the arm up into the air. Maybe coming all the way behind as we find that little twist through the torso. And then gently, if it feels okay, dropping the right ear down to the right shoulder. Again, stretching out down through the side of the neck. You're also working into that rotation through the torso again. Good for detoxification. For another 3, 2, and 1. Lifting up the head first of all, then returning the left hand back down. Well done. Rocking your way down onto your backs now. We're just going to take another recline twist, see where we've gone. And then into our Shavasana. So taking the arms out wide, extending your right leg, taking the right hand onto the left knee, rolling over towards your right hand side, taking the gaze over towards the left. Hopefully all now feeling a little bit more stretched out and limber. For 3, 2, and 1. Little tiny squeeze of the abs as you come back into the middle. Left leg long, draw the right knee in. Right arm comes out, exhale, over we go. Maybe looking over towards the right, seeing how it feels on this side. For 3, 2, and 1. Quickly back through centre. Take a hold of the toes with the peace sign fingers. Press the spine long into the ground, into your happy baby. Just taking a gentle massage of the spine, moving from left to right. And then extending into your Shavasana from there. If you know that you like to take a bolster or a brick underneath the hips or the back of the head here, feel free. If you want to take a reclined butterfly like we started off class with today, then that's cool as well. I'm going to take corpse pose, just taking steady breaths in and out of the body. Really drawing in what you need on the inhale, releasing what we don't need on the exhale. Finding a heaviness to the body. Relaxing down, releasing down And you can spend as long as you like here in your Shavasana. And letting the belly be soft, letting the hips and the shoulders feel heavy, the arms, the legs. Seeing all of those emotions that might have been disturbed during your practice, all those feelings, especially through the hips. Just let them go. So important. Well done to all of you for practicing this evening. Super job committing to being your best self and taking this time to serve yourself well. Well done. I'm going to take this opportunity to roll up to seated. You can stay in your Shavasana if you like for a little bit longer. Stacking the spine if you're joining me in that seated pose, and just taking a couple of breaths here. So nice big inhalation, drawing in that oxygen and exhaling, taking that final release. One more inhale. This time bring hands to heart, releasing with the breath out. Well done, one and all. Thanks so much. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day, your evening, whatever you've got planned for the rest of it. Take care, everyone. Well done. Thanks so much. I'll see you all next time.